G'day, g'day. You join me on the banks of the mighty Arrow River, where I have just taken a decent pan, which is good because it was the first pan of the day, and I'm right next to somewhere I can set up a sluice box. I'll flick these around and show you. So here we are, this is where I took my pan from. Nice little spot for a sluice box, that's why I thought I'd have a gaze. Well, there's half a dozen wee little flakes of gold in there. They're not showing up on the camera too well, but I promise you they're there, and we're going to dig them out of the ground. And once again, because I didn't get to use it at the shot over, which you will have noticed if you watched the last video, still a good video, good little prospecting video, I'm going to be using the XL wave riffle sluice, because there's a decent enough water flow and this thing just eats material. So I'll set up the sluice box and then update you. There we have it, sluice in the creek. I put a couple of shovels through to check for level. And just look at the black sand in that. I may not be able to run a huge amount of material before this just packs up. But that's a good sign, we like that. That's where the gold goes. Gold goes with the black sand, and if there's lots of black sand, fingers crossed there's lots of gold. I'll find a convenient rock to sit you on, probably just there. Well, I have really not processed a lot of material, like maybe a bucketful. But those riffles are completely black with black sand. So I'm going to give them a chance to clear themselves out a little bit, hopefully clear a bit of that black sand, slow down my feed. And while I do that, I'm going to take a test pan and see if that little good pan we got was a bit of a fluke, or if I'm onto something half decent. Well, here's a nice, easily visible flake in that pan. We'll take that. I mean, that's pretty good, but there was an exceptional amount of black sands in there, and it is plugging up these riffles something awful. So I reckon what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean these out, and I'm going to go back to the car and I'm going to grab my second option for designing hydro riffles, which was the trig riffle setup. So these hydro riffles basically just trig riffles with holes drilled through them to act a bit more like a hydraulic riffle. The idea is to be set up nice and neat for an area just like this one, where there is a heap of black sands that you have to sift through. The idea is keep it moving, keep it agitating, and get it running. So I reckon they might be the solution here. I've tested the hump riffle version of these before, but they didn't seem to work. If you want to check that out, have another look at that one of the previous videos. But I'm going to test the new design and see if they can handle this incredible quantity of black sand. But that means doing a clean out. So let's see if we've got anything so far. Well, just cleaning out the top of those riffles, not the mat yet. There's a decent little collection of gold, and I just cannot separate it from that volume of black sand. So I'll suck that up and get the rest of it in, but it looks like this might be a decent spot. Bottom of the mats. So the same again. It doesn't look like much, but remember that's half of what we got for the run from about 10 minutes digging. So if we can put in an hour of a sluice that can actually sort through all that black sand, you can just sort of see it falling out of just black with the stuff. So right there, big puddle of black sand, but it's got the gold in it, so we are going to process it. However, we're going to need a better sluice than that, so I'm going to nip back. I say nip, it's a bit of a walk, but I'm going to nip back to the car and get a better sluice that's sort of more equipped to handle this. I think we will have to do some tailings tests to make sure I don't lose everything. But there we are. I'll let you know when I'm back. Just fell in a hole. Well, there it is, the Mark II hydro riffle sluice. As you can see, basically just trig riffles, slightly modified to let the water do a bit more agitation. Ideal when you're getting 50 million tons of black sand in every shovelful of dirt. I haven't put any scoops through to level it yet. It does look like it's leaning slightly to one side, but I'll just have to start shoveling and see. scoop of tailings. I see one little flake of gold. That's just mica, don't worry about that one. I'm talking about this one here. It's just barely registering. So hopefully there's a lot of gold in there and I'm not losing too much, but it is black. It is just black with sand. Look at all this. Look at that. But it seems to be chugging through it a bit better than the large wave riffle sluice did, which is good. I've done about 20 scoops, hopefully. Well, not 20, no, probably about 18 scoops I've done. So I'll make probably about 25 and then do a quick clean out, see if it's working. Righto! I did a couple of test pans during that time lapse, and I figured out that where I was digging deeper here wasn't really much worth having. It's all on the surface, all just sort of flood gold. But I think it's time to clean out because there is nothing but black sand in this sluice box. I'll show you. That is just black as anything. So it's time for a clean out. Hopefully we've got a decent chunk of gold in there. It's still showing good. The test pan I did showed 6 fine pieces and a decent leaf flake from one scoop. And I've put about probably 40 scoops through now. So yeah, we'll have to see if that adds up. But a lot of those scoops were from deeper, so I'm not sure if that's as good. There's our clean out. I count 72 little bits of gold in there and 1 or 2 little flakes, but it's a lot still black sand. Using the numbers gotten from our test pan, that returns us about 72 captured and probably 40 lost. So it's not brilliant, that's not great, but I think I fed it too long. I think I put too much material through it because it was just black, and you could see the black sand pouring off the end, and I'm sure that was why I was losing gold. I mean, I took the test pan and it was full of black sand, but it let me work a spot better, let me run more material than a normal sluice would have. So it's sort of serving its purpose, but I don't think it's quite where I need it to be. That said, more tests need to be done. I never verify anything off one test. I need 3 or 4 at least. 3 or 4 telling me the same thing at least. But that's where we're at. It's not bad, but I think the spot is a lot of black sand and a lot of fine gold. So I might head a bit further up the creek and see what there is to be found. I'll see if I can shade the sun off with you. I'm on the inside of a bend and there's all this bush along here. I think there's got to be something worth having a look at, even if I'm just panning. So I'll go have a look. Well, actually that test went a bit better than I thought, because I did a couple more rollbacks of the black sand, and it's not 72 pieces of gold we recovered. I'll hide in the bushes here so you can actually see me. It's not 72 pieces, it's 103. I didn't realise just how much was locked up in that black sand, but I'm glad I did those couple extra rollbacks, because I mean it makes numbers look better. Not brilliant, still not quite where I'd like them to be. That's a little bit short of what I want. But as I say, I think I fed it too long and all sorts of things. But yeah, I think that's me. That's me for this one. I think what I'll do some more prospecting, and that'll be the next video. So if you're interested in seeing if that I can find another spot, and if that sluice can catch more gold, you'll have to hit the subscribe button now, won't you? Catch you in the next one.